Hey y'all, good evening. This is going to be real quick because I think I scared some people off and that was not my intent. I was just being really realistic. But I need you guys to understand about the whole salary thing. Everybody's check is not going to look the same. That was just me from my perspective given, well, not even perspective, that was accurate. But you have to realize everybody's check is going to be different. I mean, we all get paid the same starting off, and then you get your raise at 6 months, a couple of change, some few extra coins, and then you get your big raise in a year. But you have to, I have kids and everything, so I have a higher insurance. I have to go see specialists, so I chose the PPO insurance, which is way more expensive than one of the high deductible plans. So I have more money coming out of my check than maybe, say, an average person who doesn't need to have insurance on their kids, or who don't have kids, or who don't have to add their family to it. So don't think, that your check is going to look like mine, because you may not have as many taxes that I have coming out based on what you're going to put on your W-2s. I know that some of my younger classmates, of course, they're getting taxed more because they don't have any dependents or anything like that, but they don't have the same insurance issues that I have. They just get, and they go to the doctor once a year for their physical, which is covered under most insurance plans. So you don't have to worry about having a $3,000, $5,000 deductible unless you go into the hospital for something. So for me, with me having been unemployed for so long, I hadn't been able to see a physician. And as I stated earlier, I have an autoimmune disorder, so I see several different specialists. I see every kind of ologist that you can think of. I see one, okay? And I need to go see a dermatologist now because this weather in Chicago has not been nice to my skin. So that's another ologist I'm gonna have to add to my list of ologists that I see now. So I chose a plan that had a low deductible because I knew that I was going to be going to start my visits up again, and I needed to go back. And now that I've seen everybody who I needed to see in the year, less than in a year, because I haven't even been a full year yet. But since I caught up with all my doctor's appointments and got all my prescriptions and stuff out of the way, then for this plan year, I just chose a high deductible plan, which is cheaper, and got the HSA card to help pay for things because I have my kids on my dental and my vision, as well as me, and I have to have a lot of dental work done this year. So I just choose a different plan for different things. So don't get discouraged thinking that you're going to be working all these hours and you ain't going to have no money. Everybody's paycheck is different. Everybody's schedule is different. My schedule just happened to be to where this month and the last month I was not able to pick up anything extra. So I opened my schedule in my eVAT, right? I just wanted to give you an example. For December, we're going to start with the 1st. So from December 1, I didn't work. The 1st, 2nd, the 3rd. So that's no paycheck right there, right? I couldn't pick up any trips at the end of November because I worked on the 30th. So I needed a full rest. So I couldn't pick up anything up on the 1st. And I could have picked up something maybe on the 2nd, maybe some turns or what have you, but I couldn't do like a 2-day because on the 4th, I started my reserve day. But I think I went home because I hadn't been home, so I went home. On the 4th, I was on reserve, so technically I got paid, and I didn't get a trip, so I was just sitting at home like I did today. And you still get paid because you're on call. The 5th, they added a trip to my schedule just for some turns, just for that day. And if I open it, they just gave me a turn, just well, actually not even a term, because I didn't have to work it there. I just had to work it back. And I was only supposed to be gone, get credited for pay wise, 3 hours and 30 minutes for that trip, that one leg. But we had some issues, we were delayed and stuff like that. So I actually got 7 hours for that trip that was supposed to be 3. And then I got my per diem, which was 11 hours and 30 minutes. That's what you get per diem, right? So then on the 6th, I started a 4-day from the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. So let me open that one. So originally, I was supposed to, that 4-day total was, I was supposed to be credited 23 hours and 2 minutes worth of flying for the 4 days, you know. Due to some things like maintenance delays or whatever, I ended up getting 24 hours and 6 minutes of credit for flying, and then 85 hours and 8 cents time away from base. So that's your per diem. So how you figure out your paycheck is your credit hours for flying, you multiply that times your hourly wage, and then you multiply your time away from base hours for your per diem, and that's how you can kind of guesstimate what your check may be before taxes, right? So that went up to the 9th. I was off on the 10th, and I was back on reserve the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and the 15th, which is the end of the pay period. So on the 12th, they had me, I think I said ready that day. Let me see, what did I do? All right, so they just had me do like a turn, and it was supposed to be 2 hours and 11 minutes, but then it ended up being 3 hours and 48 minutes. And then same thing on the 13th. What did I do on the 13th? I said ready at the airport, so I just got 4 hours for that. And then on the 14th, I actually, I was supposed to work a red eye that night, and the trip got canceled. So since it got canceled, since it was a canceled flight, I need to actually call on that, because it was canceled, and it was when your flight is canceled and you're scheduled to work it, then you're supposed to get some type of credit for it. So I need to find out what that is, because it's not on there. And then I had to work that same canceled flight the next morning, and it was supposed to be 255 credit and ended up being 256, and then time away from base. So that was my 1st through the 15th, right? So you can go into your crew pay, you have a tab where you can look at what you were credited for and everything like that, and it separates it by date. So if I look at my pay period 12/1 to 12/15, which is, the 2 weeks, I was assigned 43 hours and 3 minutes worth of flying time. I end up getting 49 hours and 55 of flying time that first 2 weeks. And then I got my per diem. So you would take the 49.55, multiply that times your hourly wage, and then you will, they tell you how much per diem you made, and then you would add that together to try to get a roundabout estimate of what your check could be like before taxes and insurance comes out. So right then and there with the 43 hours, I broke guarantee for that pay period week, because it's more than 30, 38. So the second pay period, which is the 16th through the 31st, is still going on, right? So I'm still working. So I haven't really done anything I haven't really worked yet for the second pay period. So far I only have what they assigned me, which I'm starting tomorrow, which is like 21 credits, right? So I really don't have nothing. So say this is the only trip that I fly for the one that's 21 credits that I'm starting tomorrow for 4 days, and they don't give me anything else for the rest of the month. I didn't break guarantee because I only flew 21 credits. So I'm still going to get paid for the 38 hours, if not the 21, but nothing over because I only worked 21. So that's kind of how that works. And then, like I said, everybody's, pay is different depending on what kind of benefits you have or what have you. So if you don't know about insurance and benefits, that's my field. That's what I work in. That's my background. I can probably kind of help you out a little bit, but you have to choose medical insurance that benefits your family and your needs, and kind of figure out, okay, am I the person who's sick all the time and I'm going to be going to the doctor? I know I have to have a bunion removed. I need to have back surgery. I need to have shoulder replaced, something like that. My God, friend, I'm mad at him right now. Ugh. But anyway, then if you're someone who never gets sick and you only go for your annual exam and stuff like that, then you can choose the cheapest plan because you just, all that preventive stuff is preventative, that's paid for. So you got to think about that too. But anyway, I hope this helps. I didn't mean to scare people off or what have you, but I have to be realistic, and I want you to come in with some realistic ideas in your head and not thinking you about to be rich, or what have you for the first year, because you're not. Okay. But don't get scared, don't get discouraged, because you will, it's going to pay off in the end. You just got to get to that point. We all got to start somewhere and pay our dues. Like I'm off the 23rd to the 27th. I can easily pick up trips. I'm going to be in Houston. So I end my trip on the 22nd at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to go home on the 23rd. That means technically it's only 4 days. You can't work more than 6 days in a row without a full 24-hour break. So I just need 10. So technically, when I get off at 8 o'clock on the 22nd, I can wait 10 hours, 10 and a half hours, and I can try to pick up maybe a 2-day, trip or something like that, since I'm going to be home anyway. But I think I'm just going to enjoy that time with my kids, and my son is going to be going to San Diego for a training camp. So I just really want to spend that time with him. But if I want my check to look like something, and then, January and February is when if you choose to enroll in any other benefits like the Delta and the United. Is it Delta? No, it's American and United. If you opt in and you have a companion, you have to pay those annual fees, and those are due by February. And if you don't pay it out of your pocket, personally before then it's going to come out of your check. So those are going to be due. So if I could work as much as I could work and try to make that January 7th check look nice, I could pick up, those hours while I'm home if I want to. Pick up a 2-day, or whatever over Christmas. People going to want Christmas off or whatever. I can do that. And if I get home and finish my Christmas shopping and everything, I might just pick up a trip just so that I can maybe break guarantee. But I hope that helps, and I'm sorry, if I scared anyone off. That was not my intention. So you guys have a good night. I need to go to sleep. I'm going to Canada tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys later.